What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scummy Rebel here, and with Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out, or being out, I figured I'd lend my vast knowledge of the Kingdom Hearts series to those who are thinking about getting the game and haven't played any of them before, or those who have played them and just forgot the super convoluted story that is Kingdom Hearts. And when I say super convoluted, so yeah, I'll be explaining what there is to know about Kingdom Hearts while making it as short and sweet and as to the point as possible. So yeah, let's get right into this. Also, I haven't played any of these games for like a year and a half, and after that point you basically forget most of the story, and I've done minimal research, so you won't be going into this game with the knowledge of the Kingdom Hearts Wikipedia page, but the knowledge of someone who's played the games a while ago. It's all so foggy.
Drank beer, liked beer, still like beer.
Now, before we get into the story, let's start with the basics. This game is basically Final Fantasy meets Disney. You got your main characters, Sora, a Final Fantasy type character, who's accompanied by Donald and Goofy. There's a sword thing that looks like a key called the Keyblade. It looks like this. Yeah, it's a sword thing that looks like a key. There's multiple worlds spread out. Hearts are a big part of the game, but it's more like a soul or a spirit. And there's this thing called Kingdom Hearts. Well, three things called Kingdom Hearts. The OG, the Heart of Worlds, and the Heart of Men. And I'm just now noticing that there are 3 Kingdom Hearts and 3 main games. Nifty. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy. And yes, you have to say them in that order since that's the only order the game ever says it in. Well, there is one exception, but it's people singing, so let's just ignore that. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel to Disney Worlds and seal giant keyhole or something and fight these things called Heartless, beings that are a heart of someone who is overcome by darkness. Then the second game introduces Nobodies. They're the husk that a Heartless will leave behind. And when a strong-hearted person becomes a nobody, it doesn't look like the typical nobody, but it maintains its body. Yeah. And when both a nobody and a Heartless are defeated with a Keyblade, both parts combine again and the original person comes back. Also, you go to a bunch of Disney worlds, but those storylines have almost nothing to do with the main story, so yeah. And on to the confusing story. So our story starts with Sora, Donald, and Goofy. JK, could you imagine if it were that simple? So our story starts with the most recent entry into the series. Entries? It all started with a Japanese web browser game called Kingdom Hearts Key. The X is Roman, I think, or Greek, and pronounced Key. Nifty, which came to America and Europe on phones as Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, which is basically the same story with a little more added, but the whole story is different than the first. Well, it's the same, but you're reliving it in the Unchained realm. This wasn't the first time they did this, by the way. Then, with Kingdom Hearts 2.8, they had Unchained Key back cover, which was only cinematics but covered things the game didn't at the same time. Then they released it again, and I'm not sure what they changed. I don't care too much. They came out with Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and Story Time. In the realm of light, multiple worlds coexist and are all connected. A thing called Kingdom Hearts exists, which is the light, a literal force of good. Sealing Kingdom Hearts is a powerful key called the Keyblade, but it's not key, K-E-Y, it's Roman X, which is pronounced key. So a mysterious guy with a hood, the first of many, many more, known as the Master of Masters, and his goal is, well, I'm not too sure. Reforge the blade to open Kingdom Hearts? To survive the war that he knows about? So the Master of Masters, he has this thing called the Book of Prophecies. Tells him the future. Tells him about a war that will happen soon. Yeah. He has 5 apprentices. He gives them all a copy. And gives them a goal of gathering light to save the world? I don't know, it's unclear. But one of the books is different as it has an extra page about a traitor. Ooh, conflict. And the Master of Masters has a 6th secret apprentice, Luxu? He gives him a Keyblade with no name, to which Luxu names no name, and has an eyeball in it. Yeah, the Master of Masters uses it to see into any part of time that Keyblade exists. He also gives Luxu a big black box. I don't think anybody knows what is inside of that box yet. So those other 5 apprentices, Start factions of Keyblade wielders to gather Lux, or light. They're using these things called Chirithi, which are things from the sleeping realm. Yes, there's a realm of light, a realm of darkness, and in-between realms, like the realm of sleep. Try to keep up. And these 5 factions start warring with each other. One of the faction leaders, apprentices, starts a secret faction called the Dandelions, with the goal of going into another realm, the Unchained Realm, in order to survive the prophesized Keyblade War. In the first version of the game, you're playing all of this as it happens. In the second version, the Unchained version, you're just reliving what happened while you are in the Unchained Realm. Hence the title changing from Key to Unchained Key. And somewhere in there, possibly in Union X, we're introduced to 2 Dandelions in the Unchained Realm, Ventus and Lurium. Keyblade wielders. They are relevant, I promise. Meanwhile, back in the realm of light, the prophesized Keyblade War breaks out. I don't know if something happened to Kingdom Hearts, but all of the connected worlds in the realm of light separated, all having no more knowledge of the other's existence. And a war-torn area housing hundreds of Keyblades from fallen Keyblade wielders remains. 1 game down. 8 to go. And before we get to the next game, let's skip to a scene from a further up title. A young man on an island called Destiny Island is visited by an old hunchback man in a brown hoodie who tells him of other worlds, mystical. Well, the young man, we'll call him young Xehanort, you know, because there's gonna be an older Xehanort, at the least. Well, young Xehanort forgets this guy talking to him as soon as he leaves, but the idea to travel to other worlds remains. Then to a scene from a different game. Xehanort found his way to the land of departure to train to be a Keyblade wielder. He trains with another young boy named Ericus, which is an anagram of Square, cause Square Enix. Yeah. Also, Xehanort is an anagram of no heart, with an X, which is kind of important on multiple levels. So while training, Xehanort tells Ericus of his plan to release darkness, something like that, in order to reforge the X-Blade. Ericus does not approve. And now we are introduced to Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Could you imagine if it were that simple? Now fast forward some odd years to the second game, Birth by Sleep. This game starts with 3 Keyblade apprentices training to become Keyblade Masters. Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. Wait, Ventus? The one who was in the Dandelions? How? Like seriously, Square Enix? How? So Aqua and Terra are being trained by Ericus while Xehanort shows up one day with Ventus. Yeah, well it turns out Xehanort was just trying to reforge the X-Blade. He pulled the darkness out of Ventus and created Vanitas, who looks a lot like an evil Sora. A grown-up Sora. I don't know why. Kind of weird. And while Xehanort pulled the darkness from Ventus, his heart had to hide. A newborn baby named Sora was able to house his heart inside of his own, leaving Ventus unconscious as light and darkness fought inside him. Meanwhile, Xehanort put all these ideas in Terra's head, so Terra, trying to protect Ventus, battles Ericus. Terra wins, and not understanding what he just did, Xehanort overcomes the darkness in Terra and takes over his body, becoming Terra Xehanort, or Terranort, and thus is the beginning of the term being Norded. Meanwhile, Aqua brought Ventus to a wizard named Yen Sid. Ta-da! Aqua is told to keep Ventus somewhere safe so he can recover. She takes him back to the land of departure and seals the realm, transforming it into Castle Oblivion. With Ericus gone, Ventus unconscious in Castle Oblivion, and Aqua is now in the realm of darkness. I forgot how she got there, so it must not be too important. So Terranort is able to continue his plan, to gather 13 pieces of darkness and 7 pieces of light in order to reforge the X-Blade and open Kingdom Hearts. Meanwhile, some guy Ansem the Wise, Ansem being an anagram of names, is on Radiant Gardens, another world, studying hearts. He gets an apprentice named Xehanort. And along with some guy with an eye patch and no X in his name, well, Ansem figures out what Xehanort is up to, but Xehanort and Bragg are able to send Ansem to the Shadow Realm. He removes his and Bragg's heart to further his plans. ... And finally, Kingdom Hearts 1 starts. You start as Sora on Destiny Island. Yup, same island, with tough guy Riku and sort of crushed Kairi. You all talk about visiting other worlds. There's some brown guy in a hooded cloak, but I don't know if this is now or towards the end of the game. Oh well. And then boom, darkness. Oops, rewind, go back. While training, Aqua was on some world, Radiant Gardens, where a little girl, Kairi, touched her Keyblade. And Terra, for some reason, was on Destiny Island and bequeathed his Keyblade to Riku, allowing him to touch it so a Keyblade could choose him at a later date. And yeah, back to the present, just because that's the last time they're on Destiny Island altogether like that. Anyways, darkness hits Destiny Island and Riku jumps right into a spooky portal. Sora doesn't and the world is destroyed. He flings somewhere, Kairi passes through Sora's body and bada bing, bada boom. Sora wakes up in Traverse Town, a world where people whose worlds were destroyed end up. Here you meet a bunch of Final Fantasy characters and Donald and Goofy. Yay! King Mickey is out fighting the darkness and tasked Donald and Goofy with finding a Keyblade wielder. I don't know, they see the key and think that's what they need to follow, not the Keyblade wielder. Go figure. Riku is found by Maleficent, who is trying to gather the 7 Princesses of Heart. 7 pieces of light. For this evil dude named Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Sora tries to track down Kairi and Riku while sealing Disney Worlds up to prevent darkness from spreading. Riku has Kairi, who is unconscious because her heart is still inside of Sora. Later, Riku confronts Sora. Has the Keyblade somehow appear in his hands, Donald and Goofy peace out, dicks, and leave you with mopey ass Beast. Depressing. You catch up to Donald and Goofy, regain the Keyblade due to some sappy speech, and go to confront Riku. They get to a room with a bunch of Disney princesses and Riku, who is fully given into the darkness. That is that evil dude named Ansem, who you find out is a Heartless. Xehanort's Heartless to be exact. Took over his body, and now Riku has his own Keyblade that has an eyeball in it. Coincidence? I think so, but not after a retcon. Well, Sora does some weird hero flex, but okay. Rips his heart out. Well, ripping his heart out freed Kairi's heart. Sora is now a Heartless, but only shortly, as Kairi recognizes him and hugs him, and somehow this brings him back. No need to free his heart from the Heartless, and defeating is nobody? Sure, why not? Welp, Ansem gets the door open, and there's some crazy battle where he turns into a giant ship? Anyways, after you beat him, he sorta gives a speech and opens the door to Kingdom Hearts, which he claims is darkness. And this Kingdom Hearts is the heart of all worlds. So it's different from the first one from before the Keyblade War, for some reason. Ansem thinks it's all darkness inside, but it's all light, and it burns him away. But psych, it's darkness inside, and the darkness is escaping. Sora tried closing the door, but it won't budge. But thankfully, Riku, who's back to normal, and Mickey go on the other side into the realm of darkness and close the door from that side. Well, all is safe now. The worlds are repaired, Destiny Island is back, and Kairi for some reason is back there. Sora, Donald, and Goofy are off to track down Riku and King Mickey, and thus is the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. And now on to the next 2 games. These 2 take place at the same time, but will start with 358 days over 2. Now remember when I said when a Heartless is created, a Nobody is created as well? Well, when Xehanort took his heart out, he created Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Well, he created a Nobody as well, named Xemnas. Yeah. He starts this thing called Organization 13, which operates out of Castle Oblivion and the World That Never Was, with 13 members who all have an X in their name, like Xigbar, who was Brag. There's also Marluxia, who looks oddly familiar. Loria? Well, this organization gains a new member, the 13th member, Roxas, who arrives one day in a place called Twilight Town. Roxas can wield Keyblades, too, and he looks just like Ventus. Well, that's because Roxas is Sora's Nobody. He looks like Ventus because Ventus's heart sought refuge in Sora's. He can wield 2 Keyblades because he is part Sora and part Ventus. Xemnas wants Roxas because he can use the Keyblades to release hearts. You see, Xemnas wants to open Kingdom Hearts. He uses this girl Naminé, who is Kairi's nobody but with blonde hair, and where's Kairi's Heartless? And she can control Sora's memories. Let's branch over to Chain of Memories. After Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are trying to track down Riku and the King. They stumble onto Castle Oblivion. Once they enter, they start losing their memories. They travel through floor after floor, defeating a few of the organization members before he's captured, I think. Meanwhile, Riku is also in Castle Oblivion. There he meets a guy with red bandages all over his face. Well, this guy, Diz, tells Riku that in order to save Sora, he needs to capture Roxas, Sora's nobody, in order to bring Sora's memories back. Now back to 358 over 2 days. Roxas made friends with Axel. They bro out a lot until they're joined by a 14th member, Xion, who looks like Naminé but with black hair. And she can wield the Keyblade too? Well, see, she's a replica of captured Sora, made from Roxas with memories implanted from Naminé. So I don't know. Well, Riku finds Xion and convinces her to die, I guess, in order to bring Sora back. She doesn't know if she should, but decides to and battles Roxas. Roxas beats her and her memories go back to Sora. Roxas goes to the world that never was to confront Xemnas, but is stopped by Riku. Riku tells Roxas of his plan to capture him and bring Sora back to fight Xemnas. Roxas doesn't approve and battles Riku. He almost beats Riku, but then Riku removes his eye guard and transforms into Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness body. Then he beats Roxas and takes Roxas back with him to Diz. Well, Diz has created a replica Twilight Town in order to hold Roxas's mind as his memories are restored into Sora, who is somehow now in Diz's mansion in Twilight Town and not in Castle Oblivion. I may have missed something, but if I forgot, it must not be important. And with that, Sora's memories return, he awakens, and Kingdom Hearts 2 finally starts. Yes, I know the game starts with you as Roxas in replica Twilight Town right before Sora wakes up, but come on, who really wanted to play a 3-hour intro where you deliver mail to a bird and bounce a ball with a stick for a bunch of window lickers? So Sora wakes up, nice reunion, goes to Hollow Bastion, meets up with the old Final Fantasy gang, and runs into the organization. They keep calling him Roxas and sending nobodies and Heartless after him. Turns out Xemnas is using Sora to defeat the Heartless to release their hearts and collect them to create a new Kingdom Hearts. Sora then goes to a bunch of Disney worlds. Maleficent is back and apparently just wants a nice castle in the market for some good real estate. Quaint. Meanwhile, Axel keeps confronting Sora because he wants Roxas back. Aww. Sora defeats a few more organization members before he makes his way to the world that never was. Meanwhile, Axel captures Kairi to try to get Roxas back? Or because Xemnas said? I don't know. Having Kairi where you don't want Sora seems dumb. Anyways, everyone converges at the world that never was. Riku Ansem as well. Xemnas reveals his plans and Diz reveals himself to be the original Ansem. And has a machine to destroy or upload or encode the fake Kingdom Hearts. He does so and disappears in a giant blast from the machine. Riku turns back to normal, gives Kairi a Keyblade, and Riku and Sora go on to battle Xemnas one final time. They win, Xemnas is defeated, and the worlds are saved. Then back on Destiny Island, Sora and Riku receive a letter telling them about the Mark of Mastery, a test to become a Keyblade wielder. And boom! Kingdom Hearts 2 is done. Only 3 more games. And thankfully, the overall story in these 3 are short, so it shouldn't be too much longer. So after Kingdom Hearts 2, Jiminy, yes Jiminy Cricket, he kept track of progress in the main games. Well, he noticed a weird message in his journal. He takes it to King Mickey to figure out what it means, while using a Sora data replica to go through the worlds you went through in a previous game. Yeah. Mickey uncovers some important information. Yeah, you basically replay a game as Replica Sora, and now somehow it's different. Cool. Well, that information leads us to Dream Drop Distance. Mickey learns that once a Heartless and a Nobody are defeated, the original person is reborn. That person being the original Bald Xehanort. Mickey takes this information to Yen Sid, where he suggests training Riku and Sora to become Keyblade Masters. They travel into the Dream Realm. Realm of Sleep? To take various tests. On one of these quests, Sora is confronted by a Xehanort and almost becomes Norded. Well, his brush with the darkness leaves Yensid to fail him, while Riku passed and became a Keyblade master. And with Sora's story leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3 being wrapped up, there is one more loose end I can tie up. Between the end of Birth by Sleep and now, Aqua has been in the Realm of Darkness, where time moves differently. Being in the Realm of Darkness, we see Mickey pop his head through a portal, I think, and Aqua with white hair and yellow eyes. It looks like she's been Norded. And with that, that's all of the story so far. We know now that the brown cloaked figure was Xehanort's heart traveling through time. Why? Why to gather multiple versions of himself to be the real 13 pieces of darkness? But who was the Master of Masters? Who or what became of Luxa and his box? Is Riku's Keyblade with the eye a version of No Name? Why did Ventus and Laurium exist before the Keyblade War? All of these questions will hopefully be answered in Kingdom Hearts 3, but my money is on more questions rising than answers. And yeah, that's the story. But if you want, just go buy a copy of the story so far and play it all. Or just jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 with utter confusion. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below anything I messed up, left out, or anything like that. Please correct me. Like I said, I did minimal research before drafting this, and with the complexity of a story like this, I was bound to screw something up. Anyways, I've been your boy Rebel, confused as all hell, and until next time, peace.